So I've been on this journey of creating landscape paintings and trying to figure out the relationship that we have with nature, or I should probably properly say my relationship personally with nature and the environment. And it's been a tough one. A couple weeks back, I went camping and wanted to think more about this. I wanted to figure out ways in which I can connect human nature and the environments we stay in and rediscover what has been missing in the modern day. I think we take for granted the outdoors and the wild, the silence that there is inside of it is completely avoided nowadays. We hear around us all the time hustling trucks, airplanes, music and convenience stores, podcasts, social media, and rarely have a moment of rest from stimuli. It's almost like we're too afraid to hear our own thoughts and listen to what our hearts tell us, only the opinions of others, trends, who did what, and what can give me the stimulation that I need that is superficial. That's what nature has really helped me understand and began to realize once I had less distractions of my own motivations, of my beliefs, and to just get grounded and pay more attention to the things that get discounted. I'm generally someone who has a romantic idea of life and appreciates every aspect and moment of it, the good and the bad. That is my case, the philosophy I live under. This type of thought has generally helped me tremendously in life and in nature. I generally enjoyed being in the outdoors, besides the fact that the bugs were ridiculous and I got stuck so many times by mosquitoes and everything. That part was pretty bad. I think at one moment I got bit on the ass by a spider and had a spider bite. Being in nature, though, helped me reflect on the subtle nuances of life and how some things that don't matter so much when I'm away from them and the mundane aspects of life matter more than we take to understand. The small patterns of habit and other aspects, such as our relationships, our ideas of self, the way we value ourselves and other people, and the way we value our environment. I think what draws me closer to nature lately is really just the mystery of it, the mystery and the silence that it has. When we're in there, the clarity of mind is reflected with the more space that we can see. I live in the city and I live in Pittsburgh and more specifically in the downtown area. And it's always so crowded and pushed together. Being around all this space has really helped me expand more in my mind. And I want to say I made my thoughts more free flowing. I guess I think that there is something to that, to our environment and how it reflects on our thoughts. I think that's why it's so important for our own psychology and for my own personally to have a neat space, a clean room, and all these things so that we have clearer thoughts and we give ourselves duty and tasks, not to just simply preoccupy ourselves and our minds, but setting up tasks in our everyday life. It's like creating the mental orderliness in the physical realm. I guess we've alienated ourselves from nature so much that we forget that we are part of this ecosystem, and it's hard for us to really understand that because we're the only intelligent life that there is that we know of, really. I will say, being younger, it was hard for me to come to terms with this loneliness of the human experience. But as I've gotten older, I've noticed the importance of having a connection to the infinite inside what feels like finite. The importance of feeling seen and not being alone. And I honestly think that this is our relationship to God. That with His view, we are existing and we are heard and understood when nothing else can understand us and nothing else could be understood by anything else besides us. That there is something that connects our minds to our body and our body to nature. I find comfort in this, for I see it as a fact that there is a God. I truly do. And that He gives us purpose and a relationship with nature that we couldn't possibly have without any religious concepts of our role in the grand scheme of things. I feel as though the farther we recede from this connection to God, the harder it is for us to not only understand our placement in nature and the universe, but it's also created the difficult task of understanding what is morally right, wrong, good and evil, and unjust. The reason for my belief is that we need something to cling on to that is seen as universal truth, that goes beyond our emotions and rationality of those emotions, but still has a connection to them. A connection to God and the infinite fosters a sense of stewardship and reverence for nature, encouraging us to appreciate it for its sacred reflection of creation. And in this journey, the more we disconnect from both nature and the divine, the more we lose the clarity to distinguish between the trivial and the essential. Our modern distractions alienate us not only from the natural world, but from the deeper truths that reside within us, the ones that point us to a higher moral purpose. Without that grounding in something greater, such as a relationship with God, it becomes harder to orientate ourselves in the world, to understand our placement in the universe, to make sense of our responsibilities towards creation. But when we connect with both God and nature, we discover that sacred balance, a balance that brings wisdom, peace, deeper sense of belonging within the infinite design. Through this connection, we learn that our role is not just to exist within nature, but to protect, cherish, and find meaning in its quiet truths, knowing that in doing so, we are honoring the Creator and fulfilling our role in the grand scheme of life.